Hey flight fans, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris and I'm going to be reviewing the Deimos SU-57 Felon for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm here loaded up in uniform whiskey. I thought it'd be semi-authentic by being at Moscow, and this is the PC version of the flight sim. I'm going to break this down into visuals, system, flight model, enjoyment factor and value. I'll have a brief look at the competition at the end, what you might also consider if you are in the market for a new fighter type aircraft, and I'll finish with the ups, the downs, who this is for and is it worth it. If along the way you think this is a useful video, then hit the like, even better hit the subscribe, keep me motivated, and I'm looking to bring videos out once a week, maybe twice a week if I can. So let's dive straight in. Visually, let's have a little look around. Visually, it's good. It looks like a Felon from a distance. If you count rivets, you're going to be disappointed. They look painted on, but never mind. There's some flickering in the canopy, which is probably my main issue, is the canopy perspex. From the outside it flickers. From the inside, everything looks fuzzy, kind of pixelated, which is annoying. When you've got a sim that looks this good, why do you want it to be viewed through a fuzzy filter? So please, 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 if the dev is watching this, fix that as a priority. But looking back at side, decent detail all around. It looks like the right type of aircraft. We'll start the engines, I'll show you the animations as we go. But not a bad effort, decent start. Let's dive into the cockpit. And it looks Soviet, the colour's right. There's not much wear and tear, not much really detailed texturing, but it's a decent effort. The reds look almost illuminescent, but actually if you switch the lights off, they're not emitting any light. You can see the screens standard if you fly general aviation in the sim. These are the Garmin screens by default, and you've got a couple of extra Garmin input panels here. So generally, visually, it looks alright. It's basic. I mean, you get what you pay for. Systems wise, let's start this bad boy up. Really simple, Cheats Guide. Let's do this. This is your start panel. By the way, everything's in Russian, so put your tooltips on so you know what you're doing. I'm switching everything on. That's all good, that's all good. Start switches are here, so everything's on, it boots straight up. Simple. Now you can start one engine at a time, do it like you would normally, or just boot everything up. Left hand side, this is your lights. So I'm going to switch nav, strobe, beacon. Come on, that says throttle. Some of the click spots are a bit dodgy on this. And taxi light. Lighting's all there. They've also got some glare shield bits and pieces up here, I believe. There are some switches back here, but for the life of me I can't figure out what they do, because every time I try and click on them it says hide yoke. There we go. Engines are started. I can show you some of the visuals. So thrust vectoring looks pretty cool. You've got flaps manually selected. You've got speed brake. And that's the visuals. Extra little perk. Refuel probe. Hello. That's nice. I like that. Probe goes back in. Canopy. To shut the canopy, you need to unlock it. There we go. Then you need to activate it. And then you need to lock it again. Done. We're up and running. Systems. So we've kind of looked at the visuals. They're decent. Up close, you might be a little disappointed. Big picture, for the price, actually alright. Systems wise, that kind of leads on from the visuals. It is the default Garmin. And that's the main point about this aircraft right up front, is if you fly general aviation aircraft and you just want to wrap it in a 5th gen fighter skin and have the performance, then this is the airplane for you. If you want an authentic Soviet Sukhoi made Russian interceptor, then this ain't for you. So look away, go somewhere else. So you've actually got autopilot up here, so it can do all of this. I haven't tested it, but the buttons are here. Speed mode, flight director, heading, select the altitude. If you want to select change the nav source, that's this panel down here. So you can do all that standard. I haven't dug into all of it, but that took me a little while to find that that's the input to change this information here. And I presume, because I haven't found it yet, changing the course is also in here because there isn't a rotary knob for it. There we go. So systems wise, it's default. And that's kind of a pro and a con at the same time. Let's get this thing taxiing out. I would say the anti-skid is either off or off. So hey ho. And I'm going to taxi out to runway 06 at Moscow. This is uniform, uniform, whiskey, whiskey. That's pretty much why you get an aircraft like this, is so that you can take off and point it straight to the moon. Another animation, I love that spluff. That is probably the most realistic thing about this airplane, is that condensation off the top surface under high G. It's not contrail, it is G loading, which is amazing. Thank you, Orbex. Good to know. So yeah, really like that. Flight model. It goes really quickly. Need I say more? It should be thrust vectoring. In the F-22 and Prepare 3D, if you get to about 300 knots, plug in the power, pull back stick, it'll start doing cobra maneuvers, high alpha, all that good stuff. This one, kind of not so much. So if I pull back stick, it just wants to do it. It goes around the corner. But if I keep pulling back stick, let's do 300 knots, 230, and then, look at that. A 5th gen fly-by-wire spinning. Meh. Like I said, it's a general aviation airplane with the performance and the skin of a 5th gen fighter. So it spins, which is fine. You can use that to your advantage, have some fun with it. What else? We're down at 300 knots and I want to do some of that cobra maneuver business. Here we go. Plug. Oh, hello. It's not going forwards. Ah, that's because I'm at 110 knots. Okay, fair enough. So the cobra maneuvers are limited unless you drop the flap. Flap down, pull back. Oh dear. And she's off, doing her own thing. Put the flaps back up, the flight logic resets to whatever it was before, and you're back. Problem with that, that's great. I mean, you wouldn't ever have to select maneuver, flap or slat. It should be automatic. I digress. 330 knots. Cobra maneuver. Kind of, but really unstable. Again, flap. And then we're just doing some crazy stuff. So yeah, that's a bit weird. Also, I don't really see the nozzles moving around too much, but it's hard to tell from this angle. So, that's the flight model. I'll take it back for the landing if I can find the airfield. Oh, that's convenient. I think that's even runway 06. Or 09, we'll see. So enjoyment factor. Now you can hear me chuckling along as this thing does some crazy stuff. And as long as I haven't paid $30, $40, then actually that's kind of fun. You can use that to your advantage and get the aircraft doing some wacky maneuvers, which is cool. I think the enjoyment factor also comes down to the price you pay for it. I mean, for £8.49 pounds or $9, you get what you pay for. As you can see, the nozzles go there, so that's decent animation too. So I kind of do enjoy it. I don't regret buying it because I haven't paid a lot for it. I mean, I'd pay more for a decent pint in a London pub. 550, let's go for a loop. And it's quite fun to pole around. I mean, the only issue I have with it is the damn visibility out the front windscreen and the side, and the flickering texture from the outside. Those are the only two things that really bug me. I mean, the UFCP, the screen is squashed obviously to fit in that space. It'd be nice if they just said, hey, let's make it bigger so it doesn't have to get squashed. But those are relatively minor. Startup, shutdown, easy as you like. Oops. I am recording this live, doing the camera work and the commentary all at the same time, so please, if you're going to judge my flying or taxiing, then be kind. Just remember, I'm multitasking. There's no manual with this aeroplane, so I'm just making it up. I'm probably well too slow, although the aircraft floats from my one experience of landing it. So a heavy aircraft like this would normally need about 220 knots downwind to configure and about 180 knots for the base leg. Now a 5th gen fighter likes to fly high alpha, which is fair enough. And my parameters are obviously wildly off. But let's kind of duck under a little bit. Here we go. I don't want to speed up, otherwise I'll just float. And I've had this flying down to 80 knots, which is kind of bizarre. Oops. Gentle, gentle. 80 knots. And she's down. 80 knots is a little low. I've got flaps, but that's crazy. But we're down. That is it. So we've looked at the visuals, we've looked at the systems, the flight model. Let's just summarize to say that it is basic, a lot default, a general aviation aeroplane in a wrapper of a 5th gen fighter. But it has quirks, and with quirks comes some fun, as long as you're not paying too much for that fun. So value for money? Will I be flying it again? Yeah, I'll be flying it again. It's quick and easy. Just annoying I can't see out the front. Competition wise, if you go on the marketplace, you could choose anything from MS Scenery. So their products are around about £12. I guess that's 13-ish dollars. And they have the MiG-15, the A-10 and the A-4 Skyhawk. I have not used them, but price point wise you're in roughly the same area. Let's unlock this thing, do some of that. What else? You can also go for the Typhoon by Breakdock 3D. That's up again, that's twice the price at £16.74. All these prices are current as of 17th October 21. If you have an extra £11 or 13-ish dollars in your bank account, and you don't want to have to buy this and whine about how inaccurate it is and how crazy and unrealistic it is, then I would strongly recommend any of the showings from Sim Skunkworks, the G91, an absolutely stunning model of the aircraft, one of my favourite, if not my favourite cockpit. Really authentic dials, details, navigation system in the G91. You've got the option to load the old-fashioned INS in it, which is fantastic. Great aircraft. The other one is the MB339 by India Fox Teco. Also £19.74. So that is worth a look, and that is probably my favourite aircraft to jump in and fly because it's easy to start, a little bit more intensive than this aircraft was, but once you've got the basics, a quick video and it's simple. And that is excellent. Straight wing, easy to fly, jet aircraft. I love it. So my recommendations, if you had £20, then G91 Sim Skunkworks MB339 by India Fox Teco. If you only have £8.50 and you're just a little bit intrigued by this, then give it a go. Don't buy that pint in the pub if you're of legal age, and just have a go. Especially if it's your first fighter and you want to practice the performance with familiar systems. But again, it is not authentic. The flight model is no way near what you'd expect it to be. But it looks half decent. So, if you're still with me, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's been useful. If you can, chuck a like in, even better, subscribe. And I hope to see you again for the next videos. So, until the next time, goodbye.